All right, so we are 19 weeks out from our bodybuilding competition. We're married, and so we are gonna do a little Q&A today. I had you guys ask me questions on like my Instagram story, and then so yeah, we're just gonna go through them and answer them really quick. We're gonna try to make this pretty quick and not long and drawn out. So, first question: if we could pick one Legion protein powder flavor for the rest of prep, what would it be? I'm a Legion athlete, so I think this is why this person asked this. Mine would be the peanut butter fudge, probably, as far as Legion goes, because I've been putting that in just about everything, and I've been using the s'mores a lot here recently. But those would be my top two.
Yeah, like s'mores. Birthday cake's like a go-to, but I feel either s'mores or what is the one? The cocoa
Cereal.
Cocoa cereal.
Cocoa cereal. So yeah, there you go. Code KHANN, KHANN. When is your show? Our show is on June 7th. Yes, 19 weeks away. Who is your coach? How did you find him? His name is Jeremy DeSantis, and we found him through a friend. Well, they're friends now, but Cole had followed a guy that was coached by Jeremy, and then he ended up like reaching out to Jeremy, and Jeremy was his coach first, and then I got with him when I decided that I wanted to compete. So, go-to refeed meal, sushi, probably for both of us. We're getting sushi today. Yeah, sushi or burger, depends, but usually sushi. What are we most and least excited about for prep? I'll go first, because I know you're gonna think of yours. I'm most excited just to see what I've built in the last 2 years since my last prep, which was in 2023. Least excited, probably for how tired you get. Like my last prep, I worked at a gym and sat at a desk, so that was not a very demanding job. But now I work as a physical therapist assistant in an outpatient clinic 3 days a week, so I know those days are probably gonna get pretty rough and rocky, especially towards the afternoon of those days. But I would say that's what I'm most and least.
No, mine is probably just how I've been lean my entire life, and then finally having like a decent muscle shape is I've never seen the new added muscle being lean, so then it's to be able to see the new lines and what I've built, but also to get freaky shredded, because that'll just be awesome.
Because he's never seen himself freaky shredded. Like, I've done a prep before, so I have seen myself. But
yeah, I've always been smaller, but never like with muscle. And that was like one of the biggest things I feel like coming up, is talking to like my buddies whenever you're lifting and just being like, imagine like this with a lot of muscle.
Right.
I don't know, what was it, least excited?
Like, what are you least excited about?
Probably working as a nurse and the stress that comes with that, but also I think it'll be helpful because the days that it's like 12 hours, it's kind of keeps me busy. So I'm the type of person that, like, if I just didn't have to eat, like, that's perfectly fine with me. So I could go 4 or 5 hours without eating and just run around and do stuff and stay busy.
Which I think is normal for a nursing shift.
Which I think in turn will make it kind of easier and fly by. Because I feel like whenever you sit around, that's whenever you just are the most hungry.
Right.
And you're bored.
Yeah.
And you eat out of boredom.
Like when I worked at the gym, that's all I did was sit around, really. And so there was times that, especially towards the end, all I thought about was just sitting there and thinking about food. But I mean, that is a plus with working in an outpatient clinic now, is I'm having patients, I'm seeing people, I'm distracted. So that is a plus of that. Full day of eating for both of us. We literally just posted a video about this, and it goes through everything. So if you guys just want to go watch that video on my TikTok, that would be a lot easier than us like naming out every single thing. So go watch that video. Favorite things to eat during prep. I feel like honestly anything that has carbs and melted Jif on top for me.
Cream of rice.
Cream of rice for him. When we are parents, how will we manage life, chores, and workouts?
We don't know.
I would say, in a nutshell, I would probably say that it's going to be, I go work out in the mornings like I always do now. He's more of an afternoon evening type, so he'll go in the evenings. We'll kind of split that up. But also, too, he's an only child, and we know, like, his parents are going to be the type that, like, whenever they can take their grandkids, they're going to take them. So that's also a big plus for us. Will cardio go up in prep and food go down? Yes. So, I mean, usually our coach is kind of good with being like, you know, I would rather, you know, either, like for me, I would rather have my cardio upped than my food lowered, but you would probably rather have your food lowered, or you would rather have your food go lower than your cardio go up. Yeah. You'd rather have less food than more cardio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. Okay. What to eat to lose weight? As long as you're in a calorie deficit, you're gonna lose weight. So literally, if you want to, you can have anything as long as you're in a calorie deficit. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, there's no food that is 100% gonna, you know, make you lose weight magically. You just have to be in a calorie deficit and move more than you're eating, in a nutshell. But I mean, there's obviously definitely foods that are gonna be like you can eat more of because it's like less calories, if that makes sense, kind of deal.
Lose weight on McDonald's, but is it the healthiest?
Right. Favorite podcast and books. For me, podcast, I really like Mind Pump. I listen to J3 University and also Level Up by Rob Dial. Books, Atomic Habits, Level Up, Dream Big by Bob Goff. And then right now I've been reading Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. And I've also been doing the Kaizen Challenge, I think is how you pronounce it.
It's going to make me sound so boring because I don't read books. But yeah, I don't really read a lot of books.
Bible.
But my podcasts are the Bodybuilding podcast, and then Cliff Connectal and his, I think, brother does a podcast where they answer questions about like the Bible and God and stuff.
Yep. Do we go by Apple Watch or cardio machines for calories? I go by Apple Watch, and a lot of people don't know this, but like, so when I start my elliptical like workout, it'll show like a main screen that doesn't show the zones that you're in for your heart rate, but if you scroll down, it'll show you what zone your heart rate is in. So like my coach will say, you know, be in zone 2, be in zone 3, like that. So I always just go off the Apple Watch because I don't always hold on to the cardio machine for it to measure my heart rate.
What was the question?
Do we go by Apple Watch or cardio machines for calories?
Oh, well, if we leave our Apple Watch on, it collects our steps for the day, so usually we take it off.
I was gonna say too, our coach doesn't go by calories. Like, he's not like he doesn't say get on the elliptical and burn 300 calories. Like, he says get on the elliptical and do 50 minutes with your heart rate in between, you know, 130 to 140. So, and then the last one is, how challenging is prep compared to traditional training?
I don't know.
I was gonna say, do you want me to answer this? For the most part, we've actually talked about this, is that like, the lifestyle that we live, like, and especially here recently, has pretty much almost not necessarily been like prep, but it's like we're consistent, and we're like pretty much like 80-90% Monday through Friday. Saturdays we would kind of like let loose a little bit, have some fun. If we were going out of town, use those as days to be like untracked days and stuff like that. But then like now it's 100% up until we get like even a refeed. Sometimes refeeds aren't always going to be there. But really, I think what comes down to it is like, especially up to probably like 12, like once we get to like 12 weeks is where it comes in, where you start to get exhausted and tired. You realize you still have 12 to 10 weeks left. So I would say that is like the biggest difference, is like it's 100%, like there's no off-plan things, there's no little cheats here and there. It's 100%, you're exhausted, and it's still just checking off those daily boxes. Like, there is no, oh, I don't feel like it today, I'm going to take a rest day. Like, it's still showing up no matter what and getting it done, following the plan and not your mood is really what I would say.
I changed my statement for the hardest thing in prep. I think the hardest thing, for anyone in prep is probably training intensity and mindset whenever you're going to the gym. I feel like in prep, and this isn't something I've experienced, but I think it's going to be something that's very difficult, is even like for you, near the end of your prep, you almost had to have some of us come over, and you wouldn't get angry at me, but like I would try to intentionally push you because I knew you were dying but
Yeah.
also like you weren't pushing yourself completely to failure. So then
Right.
I was there to kind of push you that little extra. So my goal is to just find like training partners near the end to like
Push you.
lift with me, and people that's not physically and mentally dying like me to be able to
Put you in your place.
yeah,
in
put
a
you
way.
that little bit extra, because I think a lot of people don't think that you can make significant progress near the end, and I think that's the most important time that you need to lift hard and the intensity needs to be high, because you're trying to hold on to as much muscle mass, and then whenever you're not training hard, your body really has no reason
Yeah.
to keep that muscle, especially whenever food isn't as high.
Yeah, I think a lot of people use it almost as an excuse of like, oh, I'm in prep, like I shouldn't be building muscle right now. And it's like, that's not necessarily the case. Like you definitely want to push in those last few weeks to keep what muscle you do have. Like the cardio is so high, the food is so low, you're so fatigued. And it's really like, if I could give any like tip, it's to go at what time of day you feel the most energized. Like for me, like I know like people are like, well, I would rather go in the evening because I have food in me. But like, even though I have food in me towards the end of prep, like I'm still so exhausted after a day of work. So like going in the mornings, because like, you know, you just slept for, you know, 6 to 7 hours, which towards the end I was not sleeping 6 to 7 hours. I mean, at all. But I would say just finding the time of day that you feel the most energized and getting the lift in there. You know, the cardio, like yes, it's important to have high intensity during cardio to, you know, build or to burn those calories that you need to, but definitely saving your highest energy part of the day for those lifts, for the intensity to be where it needs to be towards the end of prep.
I feel like a lot of people switch up their cardio and training for that purpose, and that's why people say not to do cardio particularly before your training session, because you're kind of taking away from the intensity that and the energy you would have during your training. And I feel like especially in prep, when you're drained as much as you are, splitting up, doing a cardio in the morning, training, or training in the morning, go do cardio later whenever you've had some meals in and you're more refreshed.
Yeah, I will say right now, like, you know, my cardio is at 50 minutes right now, and my coach does have me do like 25 minutes before my lift, do my lift, and then 25 minutes after. But like right now, like we're doing the elliptical, and I think he's keeping us on the elliptical this go around. Like last time I did the Stairmaster, and that was pretty taxing. Like I can't imagine doing the Stairmaster and then doing legs and then doing the Stairmaster again. But the elliptical right now in low intensity steady state cardio, it's not like something that's super taxing, and it doesn't, you know, affect my lifts. Like even when I've done days where I've gone in, done my lift, and then done a full cardio session because I didn't have any other obligations that day, I don't notice any difference as far as my intensity in the lifts if I do cardio beforehand, because it's just not very taxing for me right now. Not to say in, you know, 8 weeks that that'll be the case, but as of right now, that's pretty much what I've been doing. But yeah. Well, that's all the questions. If you guys have any other questions, this is our first YouTube that we're dropping for this prep series. We plan to continue to at least do one a week, whether it's the both of us, because our schedules work out that way, or whether it's just me, or maybe sometimes it'll be just him. So thank you guys for watching, but we are 19 weeks out. So subscribe, please.